Hello, my beautiful crew. I wanted to get on here and let you know that I was having some technical difficulties last week. I got a new camera, as you know, and now I'm trying to work on my camera here and my computer here so that I can kind of read off a few things. I'm going to try to make this short this week because we do have a few things coming up that I'm going to be getting into, and I'm just I'm trying to hone in on some of the things that I need to be doing to get myself back on track. And one of those things was I did a couple of group readings and it was awesome and I had so much fun, but then when I kind of came back into this, I felt just this massive overwhelming feeling of judgment. And that's on me, totally my thing, but I wanted to let you know that sometimes these things happen within everybody. We all kind of, but we all judge ourselves, and because we are, in videos I've talked about this, how you are God. God is within you. And so we're judging ourselves. And I had some really big judgments come up and some big karmic stuff come up on what I needed to do to get through these things and stop judging myself. And part of that was kind of talking to you about how all of these things go together, how some of the things that I talk about, they seem like they're all separate, but really the entire channel is about you being able to take back your power. And taking back your power is using your intuition and your spiritual abilities. And to do that, there's a lot of things that have been hidden, and they were all hidden to take away your power, right? To take away your ability to connect with source energy or to connect with God. And so taking your power back, cannabis, doing your own research, indoctrination, can't even talk, of religion, the dumbing down of our future, teaching our children to hate one another and to divide humanity. The sovereignty of our own bodies is a really big one. Being able to choose what you want to do with your own body, or what you take back your health care, and choose what you want to do with your own body. That's a huge one. Aliens and angels, demons and angels, and me calling them aliens. That's another big one. Underground tunnel systems, which have been proven. The monetary systems and poverty, and how that has been manipulated to keep us dumbed down and have institutions above us and other beings, some that are non-human and some that are human, that have been kind of reigning above us. Let's see. So anyways, these are all completely separate pieces, but these are the things that I've been researching since I was a teenager. Okay, so this is not some new thing that I just ironically came up with. I didn't come up with any of this. I've been researching these things since I was a child and talking to the other side. And these things always came up, and I always thought that they were separate. But then this awakening happened in me. And I'm starting to realize, I realized a few years back that this is all one. And we are being lifted, and consciousness is ramping up, and that is because of the sun. Okay, so we get our spiritual connection and our power through breath and through the sun. And that's why I told you that the sun, S-O-N, and the sun, S-U-N, are interchangeable. And if you think about it that way, ancient religions, I mean, there's a ton of hieroglyphics that talk about and show pictographs about or of the sun. And the sun comes up, and then it basically on the cross, and there's the ecliptic, and there's all these lines, and we'll go into that at some point. But for now, I need to keep focused. But it comes up, it's raised, it is risen, and then it dies on the cross every night. And so you think about it, if that sun doesn't come up for a few days, we will die. Of course, it's within us. We have to have the sun to survive. And so there's a lot of research that went into that. And the fact that the sun's rays, and you can look at this. Oh my goodness, I forgot his name. I will have to look that up for you, and maybe I'll put it in the description box below. But every single morning, he talks about, I think it's suspicious observers. I want to say suspicious observers. And he gives you the rundown on all the planets and the sun and what it's doing. And sometimes it gives off projections, right? The radiation and all that stuff. And sunspots, and then it hits the earth, and you kind of see this like spider looking thing when it hits the earth, and then it kind of magnetically goes back into the earth and does all these funky things. Well, that in itself raises consciousness and does funky stuff with consciousness. So oh man, let me see if I can get into this real quick. I wanted to tell you something else. There's all these all the planets. Give me a second while I try to find this. All the planets do, have a connection with our spiritual being. Here we go. And so if you go to my Telegram, I have all kinds of stuff on there, and it's just, my Telegram is Mystic Medium. You can find that there. So Astrology Simplified, this is what it does. The sun is I am, okay? The sun is within us, and within us, it's part of our consciousness, and it's I am. That's your I am presence. The moon is your emotion, so that's I feel. Mercury, so when Mercury goes retrograde, that is I think, and that's kind of reteaching lessons like this boomerang, and everybody hates Mercury retrograde, but we're all learning new lessons. Mars is kind of the warlike, and that's I act. How you act with people and with yourself is a reflection, and it comes back to you. Venus, of course, is I love. Jupiter, which is Jesus in astrology, is I grow. Saturn, which is Satan in astrology, is I achieve. So how you get to the top, how you do things, who you go through, all of that good stuff. Uranus is I evolve, so it's your evolution and how you're changing. Neptune is I dream, so that's your dream states and the creativity as far as learning how to go into different realms. Pluto is I empower, and then Earth, which we are all a part of here, is I create. So these are all different aspects. And now I can click out of that. These are all different aspects of ourselves and how they kind of relate to ourselves or our spiritual being. So on the other side, because you are a part of God, okay, you are judged by, you always hear this, only God can judge me. Well, since you are God, once you get to the other side, you're the one judging yourself. So whatever you're doing on this side, you can, on the other side, from what I've heard, because I can remember some past lives, but I can't necessarily remember everything it was to be in the spiritual form. But I can talk to the spiritual, like my guides and angels, and they like to help me out with this. So we judge ourselves, meaning when we cross over on the other side, you can really literally feel the way that other people felt. You can step into their shoes and feel the way that they felt when you how you treated them, or in certain karmic situations. And so if you feel like you really did them wrong, then it's you that's going to want to go back into and fix things. So there's nobody that's judging you but you, because you are part of God. And so once you get over to the other side, you realize everything that you have ever done, and all the people that you've reacted with are starting to, that will trigger your, wanting to come back and fix it or not, your karmic cycles. And now we are moving into, let me talk to you about this first. Your intuition and spiritual connection to God or source is, that's who is talking to you. So when you hear your intuition kicks in and you're like, oh, probably shouldn't do that, or I should do that, or you just have to do something, that is that's really God speaking through you. And so that's why we need to learn to connect back with our higher selves, and learn to talk to source energy again. And we are being we are right now, we are being kind of attacked spiritually. And this is what I've been talking about with the elites and all this stuff, trying to put things into our bodies, trying to spray things into the air. And if you don't believe me, you really need to do some research on that. There is a certain man that is spraying things into the air because of climate change, in the name of climate issues, to block out the sun. And whether or not you know about this is irrelevant, because they're doing it, and Harvard University students are also doing it in collaboration, and they're blocking out the sun. So just think of that spiritually. They are blocking out the I am presence. They're trying to block out, and all in the name of science, which is very skewed. And if you look at, and like I said, all this research you have to really dig deep into, because you're not going to just be able to look at, Harvard studies, although you have to look at both, because there are a ton of amazing scientists that will tell you the exact opposite. And of course, the one gets blown up into the mainstream media, and the others are suppressed on purpose. So let's see, what else do I have here? So yes, anyway, I want you to do some research on who is trying to block out the sun. And that same person, which a lot of you are probably catching on to who I'm talking about already, that same man is also the one that's involved with buying up all the farmland, creating fake meats, and certain things that you're putting into your body, and they're trying to make that mandatory, which I'm not okay with. And I know that you understand that I'm completely opposite on that aspect, but what I really want is for everybody to have their sovereign right and to make your own decision. Now, I'm not going to say that it's good or bad that you make, whichever decision you make, you have the freedom of choice. When we're put here on the planet, we're put here with free will. And so if that's being taken, which right now that's being skewed because of, what we can say, what we can do, even some of the things that I'm posting up on this YouTube channel they get dinged at times, and I don't get thrown out there as far as people being able to find my stuff very easily. And then I have problems putting things like this onto YouTube, because you get basically flagged. So that's why I want you to do your own research on that. However, it's really important to do. But some of these things, don't forget that in the Atlantean days, so in the days of ancient Egypt and Atlantis, which was before that, they were messing with bloodlines. Okay, they were messing with alien and animal DNA. They were messing with, you've heard all of these stories thinking that they were myth. So now, think about it, they're changing DNA, and that's very well known. And you also have to remember that if you're doing research into certain religions, to remember, number one, the Hopi have stated, and that's one of the things that you'll hear me say a lot, the Hopi Indians, Native Americans, whatever you want to say, because I know I'm not being politically correct right now, and that's a horrible thing. But anyway, they have always said that we got to stand up for ourselves, and that we are the ones we've been waiting for. And so and I've said that from the beginning, there is no one that is going to come down and save us. It is us, because Source or God is within. So it's our right and our destiny, basically, to stand up and be able to hold each other's hand and walk into a different era and into 5D, whatever you want to call it, and step into a higher frequency. And the ability to do that is within us, and we're not going to, so they're trying really hard right now, the elites are trying really hard to stop that from happening by what they're putting in our food, in the water, and in the air. Clearly, they're trying to block out the sun, so they're even admitting that they're spraying stuff all into the sky. And you can say that that's very safe, whatever you want to say, but once again, that's playing God, and that gets a little creepy. So yeah, anyway, they're messing with your DNA and the RNA, or mRNA, and you have to know that when they start messing with this, that's why Atlantis fell. And we are going through this once again, karmically, in all these karmic cycles. I think there's 4 cycles in, oh my goodness, I think it's the Mayan prophecies. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. Anyway, so we're into the very last one. We're into the 4th one. And it's time to step up, and it's time to go into this new world, into the 5th dimension and higher, by raising our vibration. And the sun is the one that's helping us raise vibration, because it's the I am presence in our connection with God. So anyway, I wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about that, and also to let you know that I'm still here. I've just been really busy with doing readings and group readings and some research, and then I've got some stuff going on. I'm trying to do cleanses with my family, and we're having a blast. And then I had a little bit of technical difficulty, and I kind of just got pissed off and said screw it, and that's where I'm at. And I'm human, and sometimes I just got really overwhelmed, and I think I overwhelmed myself, and I remembered some karmic things that I needed to go back and rethink. And some of that was just my own ego kind of popping back up and saying, you're not good enough for this, you're not cut out for this, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to talk about things, you're not allowed to do the cannabis piece. And you know what, majority of people have been extremely supportive. It's just like 1 or 2 people that have kind of said something, and it automatically just triggered me back into this, oh my God, I'm not good enough, and I'm not going to do it the right way, and and I kind of just lost it, and I'm human, and that's just what happens. So apologize for that, and to know that I have been very busy, and I'm very excited to bring some of these things that onto this channel, and I'm still here. Just had some technical difficulties and got pissed off. Anyway, do some research. Remember that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that are standing up. There is absolutely, yes, there's a shit ton, by the way, of demonic forces, I want to say, and you can see them all over the place, in politics, especially in Hollywood. I mean, there's people that are just whistleblowing all over the place, and I think that is the most wonderful and spectacular thing that people are doing. And it makes me happy. Every time that there's another whistleblower and somebody else stands up, I'm like, yes, here we go. Somebody else is standing up, and somebody else is talking about some of these things that I so badly want to talk about. And I am talking about them, but I am trying to really bring us back down into the spiritual, and going with this gut feeling. And that is your intuition, and getting that back. And there's a lot of things that you can do. Intermittent fasting. I've never done that, and I'm going to do that here probably in the next couple of weeks. I am doing a cleanse right now. Cannabis, I get so worried about who is going to think what about me when I talk about cannabis, but that is a big one. Getting rid of fluoride in the water, and the nasty chemicals in your food. Doing some yoga, connecting back with the earth, sun gazing. You can look that one up. That's another really good one that I've done. And this all helps you to connect back with source energy and with God. And so wanted to send you so much love and light, and let you know that I'm so excited to be here with you, and we're just moving past it. We're just moving on, and I will see you soon. So much love to all of you. Welcome to your Ascension Creator.